What's going on, everybody? It's Grand here, back with another video for you. I figured you'd all had enough of my long hiatuses between putting out content, so I figured I would just jump right back into something for you. And it's a topic that I feel is very important. It's Friday, August 4th, and I know you guys are getting ready to embark on a hopefully beautiful weekend, so I figured I'd take this time to talk to you. What is the key to living a beautiful, happy, fulfilling life? I'm sure you already know, right? Because it's been hammered into our heads from about as long as I can remember. Living in the moment. And it's almost as popular as its contemporary. Another great one. Just be yourself. Just be yourself and live in the moment. That's all you have to do, guys. We've heard it from every magazine advice column, every self-help spiritual book that we've ever read. Just enjoy the present moment and live like there's no tomorrow. Just sit outside cross-legged like you're the Buddha or something, right? And it's all just going to be well and it's all going to work out. I'm starting to think, guys, that it is total effing BS. And I went back and forth on it for a little bit, but I'm beginning to settle on it being total BS. And here's the thing. I don't hate the power of now. I don't hate the notion that we're just all too wrapped up in being neurotic about the past or the present. And I don't hate the idea of people being more authentic, showing more of their true colors to the world. If everybody heard live in the moment and they actually did go outside and they got in the sun and they did yoga or whatever, that would probably be a pretty good deal. We could all use some sun. We could all use some yoga. We could all probably use some meditation, especially if it gets us away from all this stimulus, all these screens and videos and this other time-wasting nonsense, right? But what has truly happened as a result of the proliferation of these ideas? And when you understand human nature, it's not surprising. Instead of using it to better themselves, people have taken the idea of just live in the moment, and they've turned it into, I can do whatever I want, and the thing that will bring forth the most immediate pleasure is what should take my priority. This idea is literally ruining everything. And this is why you guys got to start embarking on something like lifting, for example, because you'll learn right away that anything worth doing, anything that is fulfilling, anything that you will get return on is something that takes time and planning and dedication. If you want to get good at anything, it takes time. And not just time, but it requires the mastery of time. And we'll use lifting again, for example. You know that, not only are you going to go to the gym at X point in time, but that afterwards, you got to get some good nutrition. You got to plan on getting some decent sleep because you got to do it again tomorrow. And, there's that concept, right? Tomorrow. You're not just going to get jacked from one workout. It takes planning. And somehow the idea of planning and tomorrow have become villainized. And it's been very much to our detriment, very much so. Imagine you're playing chess and you apply this sort of mindset to chess. And you're like, I'm going to only think about this current piece I'm moving because I'm a Zen master. I'm living in the moment. You're going to get wrecked. You're going to get crushed. It's a losing strategy. Chess proves that this is a losing strategy, right? You have to be thinking ahead. And the more moves ahead you can visualize, the better. And the best move is not the one that gives you immediate gratification, but it is the one that puts you in the best position for long-term success. Here's another interesting thing, though. Those chess masters, your favorite athlete, musician, whoever, they are in the moment. They are more in the moment than a lot of people could ever hope to be because they've put in the work day in and day out. And they built a skill set so ironclad that the best way for them to play well at that level is to actually shut off their brains as much as possible and let their instincts and their training take over. That is living in the moment. That is the true bliss. The true experience of living in the moment is, ironically enough, a result of hours and hours of calculated training and effort. Let me ask you this. Let me present this simple scenario to you. Who do you think is going to be more, quote-unquote, in the moment? The man who carefully planned and considered the future and used the passage of time to his advantage and got all his ducks in a row, and now he's got no debt, he's got a good skill set, he's got a good business going, he's cruising along, he's got money in the bank, he's got some hot chicks hitting him up, and he's got control over his life? Or the other guy, the skinny fat or just fat, He's got student loan debt. He's got no money. All he knows how to do is game and watch YouTube. Not good YouTube videos like mine, but just letting the algorithm carry him away every time he's got a spare moment. Anytime he's not forced to work and make just enough money to not go completely homeless, knowing he's totally at the mercy of others. Who do you think between those two is truly living in the moment the most often? The guy with his life together, or the guy who's just blowing all his time away on short-term pleasure? You know the answer. Deep down, you know the answer. But we've been brainwashed so hard by this idea, this concept of only living in the moment, that you almost don't want to accept it, right? Even if these short-term, high dopamine, immediate gratification things feel good, I want to ask you guys, honestly, do they really feel that good, right? When your shit is so not together, and when you're so deep in that ice cream or that porn binge, whatever it is, isn't there some distant voice you hear that makes it impossible to truly enjoy it? Maybe some people really don't care. Maybe some people are really that apathetic. I'm sure that there's those people out there. I think there are. I think there are people who are fine with just working the dead-end job that they don't like and then coming home and just consuming. And honestly, if you really are fine with that, I'm not going to take anything away from you. But if you know you're capable of more, if you know you want more, there's going to be this distant voice calling out to you when you're engaging in this stuff that you can barely hear, but it's going to be there every time you go down the rabbit hole, right? Every time you're going down this rabbit hole of engaging in this degeneracy, there's going to be this faint voice calling out to you, saying, please, you can't continue down this road. You know this is leading to something very bad. Please stop. And you can ignore it all you want, but you're never going to be able to really enjoy this nonsense that you're engaging in, because it's always going to be there to a degree. All this, stems from living in the moment. And listen, to clarify, before we wrap it up, I am all for being more conscious, more present. I'm all for finding time where you do engage in things that are just purely for fun, time with family, time doing things you really do enjoy. And I do believe people allow this overthinking, this neurotic stuff, this thought patterns about the past or the present. I do believe people allow this to plague them. And I'm not really even truly against living in the moment, honestly, right, guys? But what we need to do is make sure that what we're doing in the moment is constructive. It is worth our time. It is something we truly are called towards, and it's worthwhile. It's something that will give us skills and experience and the things necessary to build a better future for ourselves and for the people we care about. You just need to take a moment and judge this trajectory of where things are going on your current path. And when you live in the moment all the time, it's like you skip that step. When you do this, however, when you start to begin to do the real work, you start to identify the things that are really important to you, and even if they're not immediately comfortable, and you start pursuing this stuff, what is ironic is that because you're doing what you know is the right thing to do, even if it's difficult, even if you don't immediately feel pleasure from it, what you're likely going to find is that nagging voice has actually gone silent. And even if you're out there working hard, you're sweating, you're focusing, you may find, strangely enough, ironically enough, that a strange bliss begins to overtake you. And you realize that you feel something like contentment. There's this little tinge of excitement, right? And you realize for the first time in a very long time that perhaps you've truly begun to live in the moment. So that's it, guys. That's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys got something out of it. Ironically enough, if you haven't read The Power of Now, I really actually would recommend it. I read it maybe, 9-10 months ago, and it actually was a good book. So I'm not trying to crap on that book or any of this other stuff. I just want to make sure we're applying this stuff right. And that's about it, guys. So thank you so much. If you would like to support me or the channel, please subscribe and like and share the video. And if you could, in the video description is a link to my x.com profile. If you could follow me there, that would be a really great way to support me. And I'm going to try to get into more written content, and as the channel grows and things like that, it'll probably be the best place to interact with me. Maybe we can start doing some Q&A stuff. I'd really like to get into that, where you guys like send me some questions, and based off of your questions I can make some good videos, a little bit more like specific topics. So all right guys, that's it. Thank you so much. You all have a good weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.